Hey, welcome back to Morning Footy. And then there were two. Portugal and Spain will face off Sunday in the final, 2:45 p.m. Eastern, which you can watch on Fox. Portugal, they got past Germany 2-1 at the final. And then Spain, of course, yesterday beating France 5-4 in an absolute thriller. And here's what one of the headlines had to say. Marca reads, El baile acaba en susto, which translates to the dance ends with a scare.
Okay, look at you. The rolling come on there. Okay.
Spanish.
Don't ask me to do any more. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. Master, Jalil, Aly. We're going to look ahead to this matchup. And one of the big storylines going into this game is the fact that we get to see Cristiano Ronaldo, the old guard, one of the best to ever play the game, playing against the next generation and a player who could very well be in that same conversation that we've been having for years and years about Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, and that is Lamine Yamal, who had this to say about playing against Cristiano Ronaldo in the final. So let's take a look at that quote. If we have it, yes. This is the kind of game I want to play to prove who I am. He's a football legend. I like all the players, have huge respect for Cristiano. I will do my job, which is to try and win, and that's it. All right, so maybe a little less brash than we see at times from Lamine Yamal talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, but I'm curious, boys, on the flip side of it, how this will kind of maybe bring out a new level of Cristiano Ronaldo, a chance to maybe humble the young gun as we take a look as well at their seasons for club and country since August 2024. What do you think, Master? Are we going to see like Cristiano Ronaldo at his best to try and, kind of show one last time against, Lamine Yamal, kind of what he's about?
I think so. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo is always trying to prove something, whether it's trying to score 1,000 goals or trying to prove that he can still do it on the international stage despite being in Saudi Arabia, scoring the goals we saw in the semifinal that ultimately proved to be the game winner against Germany. So I think Cristiano will always have, as long as he's on the pitch and he keeps aging backwards, whatever biohacking techniques he's doing. I think but it's also a great example of longevity that I think, Lamine Yamal can take an example from with where he already is at 17 years old, the ability to think that Lamine Yamal could potentially play at 40, 41 years old and what kind of player he can be. Ronaldo's setting a great example for a lot of these youngsters of how longevity looks like. But I would think Lamine, as a kid, I'm sure you were imagining playing against the Cristiano Ronaldos, the Messis, the Neymars, all the people that you looked up to, all the people that set the standard for what this past generation did and being able to evolve the game on a global level. And for Lamine being able to go against him and potentially beat him with a trophy on the line, as these two nations obviously have a lot of pride in terms of their football nations. I wouldn't expect anything less from Lamine, but other than sort of rise to the occasions we've seen time and time again.
Yeah, who said that Nations League isn't entertaining? This is exactly what we want. We want the greatest, one of. It doesn't matter what side of the argument that you're on. You cannot argue the greatness of Cristiano Ronaldo. He's 40, about to be 41 going into the next World Cup, but he seems to be getting better and better over recent years with this Portuguese side. But now, Lamine Yamal, I like youthful exuberance, and he's never been disrespectful in his trash talk and him getting himself ready to go. That's what I love about it, and he seems to rise, like we talked about, to every single occasion.
So let's take a look at the All-22 and the projected lineups for both sides. And Jalil, you're going to take us through Portugal to start.
Yeah. So first of all, Cristiano Ronaldo leading the line. And like we said, he seems to be getting better and better in recent years for Portugal. He plays more now, less running into the channels. Out here, he's more in the box. That's exactly where you want him, especially with Bruno Fernandes right behind him. He doesn't need to drop as deep to facilitate. For me, it's going to be about how the midfield is able to facilitate, get the ball to Cristiano Ronaldo when he needs to. So Vitinha and Silva are going to be absolutely vital to what they do in this matchup.
And that midfield, as you talk about for Portugal, obviously we know what Pedro's capable of doing in terms of being one of the best midfielders in the world. Zubamendi, who I think is someone as well that continues to be on the rise as he's in the position where typically we would see Rodri at, but Zubamendi, someone that can potentially also find his way into the starting 11 this Spanish side, and a hot name as well in the transfer market, and Fabian Ruiz. But obviously you got to start with the wingers, Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams. They're dynamic duo, and you forget how much fun they are to play with each other. You would hope that Barcelona would have enough money to be able to get Nico Williams on the wingers, because we want to see this on a weekly basis. But unfortunately, we can only enjoy this on the Spanish national team, and these two guys can create so much havoc, particularly for fullbacks that tend to be pressing forward. That's the last thing you want to do against these two sides, because if you are way too far in advance, these two can kill you. And Pedro Porro, of course, at the fullback position, typically we would see a Danny Carvajal in that situation, but Pedro Porro also has the attacking capabilities, and him being able to link up on that right side with Lamine Yamal will prove to be really dangerous for this Portugal side.
All right, well, with so much talent between these two teams, we thought it'd be fun to do a best combined 11 between these two teams. We're going to go head-to-head with some players in different positions, and you all will then pick who you would give the edge to in the best combined 11. So we're going to start, and we're going to also be lined up in a 4-2-3-1. But we start on the touchline with the managers. So who would you guys give the edge to between Roberto Martinez and Luis de la Fuente?
I'm going with De La Fuente because he has more gravitas to him. He seems to have gotten more out of each individual player in the Spain setup, and the collective seems to be popping, firing on all cylinders a little bit higher than this Portuguese side.
But would you argue that he's got just more talent to work with? Like, do you think that Spain per player is more talented than Portugal?
They do have more talent, but as you mentioned earlier, he's letting them be themselves. He's allowing them to have that free-flowing, letting their personality shine, and I think De La Fuente doesn't get enough credit for that. So I'd pick De La Fuente as well. Roberto Martinez, it's impressive to see what he's been able to do with Portugal so far, but we've seen his track record as well in some of these situations. Belgium, obviously. De La Fuente got the Euro. We got to go with him.
Okay, moving between the sticks, we go Diogo Costa or Unai Simón.
I'm going with Simón. Sorry, I was trying to figure out which side we're on. I'm going with Simón because you looked at, yes, they gave up 4 goals against France, an excellent French side, but if you look at all 4 of those goals, I don't think he could have really done much about them. His 6 saves were excellent. I think if he doesn't have the game that he has in the semifinal, you're seeing Mbappe hit the back of the net multiple times, Ousmane Dembele a few times as well. So for me, he is getting the edge over Diogo Costa.
Yeah, because, I mean, France had how many shots in that game? Like 24 or something. Like it was crazy. So he was put to work, even though 4 goals to go in the back of the net. So Master, are you going with?
I'm going Unai as well. I think it speaks volumes considering the depth that Spain has at this position. That Unai Simón is their starting goalkeeper, and it shows his skill set and his testament to his quality in that.
Okay, so far Spain winning out on the manager side and the goalkeeper. What about left back Nuno Mendes and Cucurella?
Okay, this is where I gotta go with Nuno Mendes. He was even in the conversation for Ballon d'Or for a little bit of the conversation here, and I just feel like when it comes to actually defending and doing what your primary responsibility is, I'm taking Nuno Mendes.
I go Mendes too. Cucurella has like very high highs and very low lows, so it's a little sporadic, but I'll go with Nuno Mendes here. He's a lot more consistent.
Okay, now moving inside center back, Ignacio and Huijsen. What do you boys think?
Yeah, this is where it gets a little bit tougher, but you can go first here, Master.
I'd probably go Huijsen, considering what he was able to do at Bournemouth, the youngster right now. He has the skill set to score off of set pieces, but also he's just a brick wall as well. Tall, reliable center back that we've seen so far, a really youngster that he'll be in this lineup for the next 10 years easily.
We're talking about national team, not Bournemouth over here.
Yeah, but I mean, it's saying totality, he's great. We get more opportunities in the national team.
We can't agree on everything. I'm going Ignacio here just to mix it up a little bit. You can't always lean together. He's yet to prove it on the international stage, but still, I'm going to just make this conversation just a little bit more interesting.
All right, because we're torn, I'm going with Jalil. I'm going with Ignacio. I think Huijsen just has a bit more to prove, and we're going national team
Just a cool guy playing center back.
Okay, well, I don't pick my players just because they're cool, Master. All right, moving on. Ruben Diaz and Cubarsí. Who are you guys picking for this?
Oh, this one's tough. This one's probably the toughest one. I'd probably lean Diaz off the experience and what we've seen him do at City and also what he's able to do at Portugal. That's no knock to Cubarsí at all. He's a fantastic defender, but I'd lean towards Diaz.
Diaz right now, Cubarsí for the future.
Okay, so Portugal getting a lot of nods here on the defensive side of things. Next up at right back, we have João Neves and Porto.
This one's tough because Roberto Martinez has João Neves playing at right back, even though we see him more as a defensive midfielder for PSG. For that reason, I would go Pedro Porro, the more attacking what he's able to do at Tottenham and obviously what he's able to do on the Spanish side. I lean towards him, but João Neves, he's a fantastic, fantastic player. There's no knock to him whatsoever.
Yeah, I like it. I'll agree with you here. I'll go with Porro, but João Neves is solid too, but I'll go with Porro.
Yeah, if Dani Carvajal were healthy, we may be having a different conversation right now. Okay, moving forward into the midfield, we have Bernardo Silva and Fabian Ruiz.
Ooh. Silva, it's hard to tell where he's at in terms of form-wise with Silva. I think I'd lean Fabian Ruiz. I think I would. I like what I've seen from him. I'd go Ruiz. I would go Ruiz. It's no
the
knock on
recency
Silva.
bias is bonkers.
It is.
Right
We're
now.
talking about right now. That's all I can base things off of. The form that they're at right now, and I would take Fabian Ruiz over Bernardo.
I'm going with Silva. I can't always agree. We got to make this interesting. I'm going with Silva.
Yeah, okay, just to make it interesting, nothing else beyond that?
No, I'm going with him because I feel like he just has more of an ability to take over the game. That's where for me I'm going with Silva.
Okay, and I think for that reason as well, I'm going with Bernardo Silva, and I think we've just seen it more consistently from him. Sorry, Master, I'm going against you on 2 different occasions today. Let's keep it going in the midfield, though. We've got Vitinha and Zubamendi.
Ooh, I love Zubamendi. I do. Vitinha right now, he's on another level. Vitinha, what he was able to do, the heart and soul of what we saw from PSG, and obviously on this Portuguese side, his growth and his evolution is allowing them to rely less off of Cristiano Ronaldo. Give me Vitinha.
I'm with you on that as well.
Yeah, I'm Vitinha all day. Okay, next up, we have Bruno Fernandes and Pedri. I mean, come on.
The conversation is really interesting here. I love what Bruno Fernandes has been doing. He's been, the one player that's kind of keeping the Man United hopes and stability in somewhat
Okay,
of a
but we know the
respectable
answer to
position.
this. Come on.
But it's definitely
It's
Pedri.
Pedri, yeah.
There's no conversation all day, every day.
Pedri.
Yeah,
Pedri.
yeah, okay. Well, very good. So we're all in agreement there. Moving now to the front line, we've got Neto and Nico Williams.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is a really good one. I'm going with Nico Williams. I really liked what he did in the game. Just in the semifinal, he was excellent on the back post, and I'm going with him.
You'd be a great politician, by the way. Okay, come on, Master, you're next.
He shows he can play on the right side, Athletic Club. He plays on the left of Spain. I love his versatility. I love his personality, his flavor.
Yeah,
Give me
I'm
Nico.
with you. Nico Williams. Okay, next up, Conceição and Lamine Yamal.
This is not even.
I mean,
we just have to do
Don't
this.
even show it,
We just
yeah.
have to do this just because. We already know what it is. Look at he's pointing over to the other image like,
Come on,
whose
bro.
man's is this?
Come on, bro.
Yo, this
Yeah,
guy.
Lamine Yamal, everybody. No
100%.
surprise there.
No,
Okay,
Conceição scored an amazing goal
Yeah, he
against
did.
Germany. So show him.
Yeah, but everyone's still picking Lamine Yamal. Okay, next up, the last matchup. We've got Ronaldo and Oyarzabal.
So Oyarzabal has been excellent for club and country. He was phenomenal in the semifinal. His hold-up play and his facilitation was a clinic on how you play that 9 position. But of course, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's ascending, which sounds crazy to say, with the Portuguese national team. So I have to go with him. Anything that is a vintage story of us having the greats getting back to how they nostalgically sit in our hearts, I'm riding with. So for me, it's got to be Cristiano.
Gotta go with Cristiano.
Okay.
That's
Ronaldo it is, everybody. So let's take a look at the best combined 11 that we have selected. Drum roll, please. Da-na-na-na-na. Here we go. So 6 for Portugal, 5 for Spain.
interesting.
That's kind of
wouldn't have guessed
surprising,
that.
isn't it?
I wouldn't have guessed that. But the back line, we're relying on Portugal for that. The midfield, we've got a lot of Portuguese in the midfield as well, but the attackers, or the midfield as well with the wingers, we have to go with Spain.
Yeah, and that's really where the strength of their team is
That
as well.
front 4 is scary.
Scary.
Line them up, baby. Let's
Scary.
play right now.